guys and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm back with another video and I'm going to be doing a review on the new Makeup Revolution Reloaded palette. I do only have one of these palettes, but off the top of my head I think there are 4 to collect. They are £4 each and you get, hold on, let me count. You get 15 shades for £4. Now, I'm not good at maths, so you try and divide how much that is per pan. But I know it's not a lot. I just want to also put out there that if you are new to my channel, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you haven't already, make sure you do also tap the bell down below so you are notified every single time I post a new video. And without further ado, I'm just going to get on with it and show you what this palette is like and give you my first impressions. So this is what the palette looks like. As you can see, the packaging is quite simple. It just says Revolution on it and Makeup Revolution London. It is plastic, just like every other Makeup Revolution palette. This is the Reloaded Neutrals 2 palette, and if you open it up, it's just clear here. There is no mirror because it's literally only £4. Normally you only get a mirror with the like £8 to £10 eyeshadow palettes, but this was only £4, so that's why we don't get a mirror today, kids. So I'll show you what the palette looks like up close. You can see that it comes with, here we go, here's my counting skills again, 3, 4 shimmers. I think it might be 3 or 4 shimmers. I'm not 100% yet until I swatch them, and the rest look like they're all mattes. I like is that there are a mix between mattes and shimmers. Normally when I do an eye look, I do like to use mattes and then add a little pop of shimmer, and obviously we need an inner corner highlight, which this would be perfect for. So it is a very diverse palette for only £4. And also Makeup Revolution are cruelty free, so if you haven't watched my videos before and you've been living under a rock and have never tried Makeup Revolution products, then they are cruelty free. Just a tip for you all. I'm gonna give a few of these shades a little swatch and see what the pigmentation is like for them. Normally Makeup Revolution's cheaper eyeshadow palettes are a little bit chalky though, to be fair, but I can't sit here and say that this one is chalky because I haven't tried this one. All I know that there are some really good reviews for this palette, so I'm expecting quite big things. So this is the first row of eyeshadows here. So you've got a very pale pink colour here, and it looks like pretty much the rest are all matte. This one came across from the swatch is a little bit chalky, but it's not the end of the world, and so did this one here. You can see there's a little bit of chalkiness just at the side there. Honestly, seeing as this palette only costs £4 for all these 15 shades, that pigmentation is rather quite good. So I'm going to go back and swatch the second row of shadows now. And then this here is the second row of the shadows. So we've got this very pale white colour here. It probably doesn't show up very well on my skin because I have very pale skin, but when I swatched it I was quite impressed with the pigmentation on my finger. And then we've got this one here. I don't feel like this one is as pigmented as the others, but we'll still go with it. And then can we talk about this shimmer shade here, because I'm really hoping you can tell on camera how insanely pigmented this is. Like the sheen that is coming off on that is just insane. And then we've got this one here. Once again, this is quite pigmented as part of a £4 eyeshadow palette. And then this one here is a little less pigmented once again, but is still pigmented, and it's still picked up quite a lot of pigmentation. So that is the second row of the eyeshadows in the eyeshadow palette. And then finally this is the last row of shadows here. So we've got this shimmer. The other one, this one is so insanely pigmented. I could have probably have kept dragging it down my arm. Sheen is just insane, so I'm hoping you can see that on camera. And then we've got this one here. This is another shimmer shade, but this is a lot of a paler shimmer shade. I'm hoping you can tell that on this one it's not as pigmented as this one, but it's still pigmented. And then we've got this one here for a brown and for a matte. This is actually quite pigmented, so I was surprised when I swatched it. This one's another pale colour, so it didn't really pick up on my skin tone, but once again is still pigmented. And this one isn't as pigmented as the others, as you can tell from the swatch here. I'm also not the best at swatches, so please take this with a pinch of salt. I'm so excited to try this one out, so I'm going to just get into the tutorial now. That last shimmer shade that I swatched won't even come off my arm, so Makeup Revolution, you've gone and impressed me once again. So another thing that I want to point out about this palette before I move on to the tutorial, I promise I will not bore you and I will move on to the tutorial in a minute, is that does this palette remind you of something else? Because would it be one of my review videos if I didn't try to find a dupe for it? And to be honest, it reminds me a little bit of this little beaut. Now, if anyone knows me and you've been following my channel for a long time, you'll know that this is my holy grail palette of all holy grails. So when I saw that this was kind of like a drugstore sort of alternative. It's not a total dupe. I'm just going to put that out there. I'm going to compare the two for you, and you can decide yourself if you think it's a dupe or if it isn't a dupe. Please ignore the fact that my Anastasia Beverly Hills palette looks like it's been through the wars and back, but I've used it so much. So this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills one, and this up here is the Makeup Revolution one. As you can see, a few of the pink shades and the orange shades are kind of the same. Also, another thing that stands out to me as the same is this little pink shimmer shade here is kind of the same as one, I don't know which one it is because I'm so far away from my camera, but one of these is a pink shimmer in the Anastasia Beverly Hills one. Also, there's quite a few dark pinks and dark reds. One reminds me of Venetian Red. I think it's this one up here that reminds me of it the most. As you can see, there are definitely some similarities. So I'm just gonna put it into perspective. This top palette, oh, it's slipping down. This top palette cost £4, and this bottom one, I got it for £41.50, but I think it's gone up in price to £43, I believe. There is a massive price difference between the two. Obviously, the quality of the Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow palette are absolutely insane, especially this eyeshadow palette is one of my favorites. It's so incredibly pigmented. The shimmers are the best shimmers that I have ever used. But alternatively, I'm not going to knock Makeup Revolution because for the price, their eyeshadows are so pigmented, and you know, really like their eyeshadows as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this on my eyes and see how. So before I get into the eyeshadow, I'm firstly going to conceal my eyes, and to conceal my eyes, I'm going to use the I've got it the wrong way around. So to conceal my eyes, I'm going to use the Soap & Glory Kick-Ass Concealer. This has been a recent purchase of mine, but I've quite liked it. Here you have the powder, which sets my eyes in place. And then this bit is the concealer, so there's two shades. But I'm just going to conceal my eyes and make sure that we've got a nice base for the eyeshadow to stick to. Okay, so now I've got a base for my eyeshadow. I'm just going to move on to the eyeshadow palette. And now I'm going to have to pick a transition shade. Ooh! I've just stuck my finger in it. You can see how pigmented it is now because I've just stuck my finger in it. But I think I'm going to use this shade down here as my transition shade. I am using Spectrum brushes. These are new. I haven't really used these that much. I've used it once and I really liked it. As you can see, there was a little bit of fallout from that shadow. Let's see how well it performs on the eye. That colour is really pretty. I'm going to keep dipping in and then applying it, because the thing with Makeup Revolution eyeshadows is that they're really buildable, so I'm just going to build that colour a little bit. Okay, so first impressions, that colour was very buildable, which is a plus from me. It was very pigmented as well, like you can see on my eyes, there's no problem with it whatsoever, which is surprising because normally Makeup Revolution's cheaper eyeshadow palettes aren't as good as their £10 ones, which is understandable, but I'm actually really impressed with that shadow. And there was basically no fallout, so that shade was a plus from me. Now I'm going to deepen up my crease a little bit. I'm going to go with, let's just go bold. Let's just do it. I'm going to go with this shade up here. This is a very orangey sort of shade. Ooh. Shut the front door. How much was this eyeshadow palette? This is picking up more pigment than my Too Faced ones do. I'm actually really shocked because there are other cheap eyeshadow palettes that I've used, I've just, to put it bluntly, I've hated. I did not expect that, to be quite honest. Oh my god, I'm really happy. I'm so glad I like this. I was really wanting to like this eyeshadow palette, and I'm so glad that I do so far. So now to deepen everything up, I'm gonna go with this shade here. I think I might do an halo eye today. I quite like doing halo eyes, so I'm just gonna use a flat brush for this. This isn't a Spectrum one, this is just some brush set that I bought from TK Maxx. The lid is looking quite pink, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in with one of the shimmer shades, and firstly I think I'm going to take this one here just because it's a really bright pink and I feel like it will pop. I'm going to apply this with my finger because I feel like shimmers just apply so much better with my finger. Oh my gosh, right, that is still see it on my finger. It was really pigmented. Let me show you a proper swatch of my finger. So if I swirl my finger in, I'm really hoping you can see how insanely pretty that is. I've just put that all over my eye. Does that not excite you? What I'm gonna do is I might deepen up a little bit because why not? So I'm gonna take this brown and I'm just gonna pop this in the very outer corner of my eye just because I fancy something a little bit deeper. That's basically why. Story of my life, the end. Also, can I just talk about how nicely these colours are all blending together as well? Obviously, my Anastasia Beverly Hills palette is a lot more pigmented than this is. The shimmers are a lot more pigmented than this is, but I'm not gonna complain about that because that palette's £41 and this one that I'm using now is literally £4. And now that I've done my base eye look, I'm gonna go in with mascara, and for mascara I'm gonna use the Soap & Glory Thick and Fast mascara. This is new, I actually did get this for Christmas. Used it for the first time on Friday. It's now Sunday, I think. Yeah, I'm actually quite liking it. I can see why everyone hypes over it. Also literally the worst person at mascara, if you couldn't tell. I need a lower lash line. Well, I don't need a lower lash line, but while we're at it, we might as well do it. And for my lower lash line, I think I might use this shade here. I haven't used this one yet, so I'm gonna give this one a whirl. That colour came off quite peachy. I'm hoping you can tell, like a lot peachier than the ones that I used in my crease, but it's quite a peachy colour. Quite liking it. Peachy peachy. My inner corner, this one's standing out at me, so I'm just going to use this very, very white colour, and I'm just going to take this on the smallest brush known to man. This is quite chalky, has a lot of fallout. To be honest, with that shadow, it did take a couple of times to like pick up the pigment. That's what I'd say about that white one, but for most of the shadows, they are pretty much pigmented, pretty much all good. So that was my review on the new Makeup Revolution Reloaded palette. Like I said, there are 4 of these to collect, so if you're not really keen on this one, then you can have a little look at some of the other ones. We'll leave the link to where you can buy this in the description bar below. Off the top of my head, I know you can buy it from Superdrug and the Tan Beauty website. It's now available to buy. So these do retail at £4, like I've mentioned about 10 billion times in this video. They are super affordable, they are cruelty free, they're drugstore. If you're starting out with makeup, I feel like this is also perfect for you. Like I said, it is a little bit of a dupe for the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, so if you're not about paying £41 for an eyeshadow palette, then this is pretty much a good dupe. So it's pretty much really good for £4. I really hope that you did enjoy this video. If you did, don't forget to smash it a big massive thumbs up, and also feel free to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Make sure you do also tap the bell down below so you are notified every single time I post a new video. As always, all my social media links will also be linked down below, so if you want to give me a little follow on them, then you can do. Once again, thank you so incredibly much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you on my next video. Bye!